Hello guys, I'm Emmanuel and today we're gonna do a top 5 from my least favorite kaiju movies ever made. From the least worst to all the way to way worse. So let's get started right away with Yongary, Monster from the Deep. And yes, I literally prefer this movie as less worse because at least it doesn't have any stock footage, at least it just doesn't have any, cheap effects or whatever. But this movie, it's a little bit boring with less memorable characters, and the young boy is also very fucking obnoxious. And yes, this movie is the only South Korean monster movie that was released in the U.S. and non-South Korea because the original South Korean version was lost because due to the legal rights to the companies, it just got lost. And I literally just watched the movie because I was interested in this movie because I want to check it out, see for myself. And it's really mediocre. Yes, you heard mediocre, and I think I gotta say this movie as like a so bad it's boring. Just like Ape, because that movie is also fucking bullshit, but it's still bad, it's boring. So as for this movie, yes, the monster effects for the movie are decent, but not as great as the original Godzilla film or King Kong. But this movie is still boring and not as memorable as the Pulgasari one that I literally just make a trivia about it or watch the movie. Yes, if you guys want to watch a decent Korean monster movie, just watch Pulgasari. It's still decent, but despite the backstory behind it, it's still a decent movie, but just if you guys want to watch this movie, just don't. It's really boring, but if you guys are interested in this movie, just go for it. I literally watched this movie and I find it is really boring. So yeah, that's my explanation about this. My opinion about this movie. So coming in at number 4 is Reptilicus. Yes, I know I mentioned this before in my review with the movie itself. But this movie is probably I know some people hate this movie or love this movie, but I'm kind of in the middle because there's the good stuff for it or a lot of bad stuff in it. And a lot of bad stuff, it's the characters and the monster itself. As sorry, as for the characters, they're kind of boring and mediocre. And as for the monster itself, it looks so goddamn cheap, but not as cheap as Super Monster Gamera. I will talk about that shit fest little movie in a second because I literally get a trash about this movie and throw it in the goddamn bin. Alright, let's get back to this movie. Yes, this movie is literally, yes, a less boring as Yongary, but it's sometimes the creature effects are kind of mediocre and bullshit. Because, yeah, look at this. The monster looks like he's about to fall apart, like I mentioned in the review of Reptilicus. But as for that, this movie, it's still, yes, it's a bad movie, but it's a decent one. But not good, but it's a decent one because it's still kind of boring, but not as way worse as Godzilla's Revenge and Gamera Super Monster. Well, yeah, as for of the characters, some characters are kind of boring and really tiring to get through. Like, the guy who was like operating the bridge and made a stupid decision just by lowering the bridge because he wanted to lock the people out to get killed by the monster. God, that character is so fucking stupid. And yes, that's my opinion about this movie. Yes, if you guys want to watch this movie for curiosity, just go for it. I watched this movie twice just because I just want to realize that this movie is not that bad, but still kind of awful. So if you guys want to watch the movie, just go look for curiosity. But you guys are bored to sit through this movie, just don't watch this movie. This is just my warning about this movie. So let's get a move on. On my top 3 list, it's Ape. Yes, I did a review about this movie, how bad and trashy it is, how boring the characters are, how stupid the effects are. And yes, I still trash this movie how bad and boring it is. I mean, look at the effects for the ape itself. It looks so like he's about to fall apart, just like Reptilicus. And yes, the rest of the effects for the movie, like the giant shark or the giant python, they're still awful how bad they were, and the fact they use a real snake for the movie or python, it's still not great because it looks super cheap. And as for the effects, are very mediocre, not as great as what we hoped for. Yes, this movie is bad, but at least it's still not as cheap. Well, way more cheaper than Godzilla's Revenge and Super Monster Gamera. And yes, but Yongary is probably way better than this piece of shit because Yongary at least has some good effects on it. Well, yeah, decent effects, but not good. Decent. But this movie is still boring. Bad characters, bad effects, and stupid plot. A stupid plot that literally just makes this movie more less on structure. Yeah, you hear me, on structure. Oh, the plot of this movie is so fucking bullshit. I'm sorry, guys. I trash this movie, but at least it's still better than the other ones I'm gonna mention afterwards. So let's get this over with. Let's go move on to my way worse movies. I think I'm gonna throw a fit on them. So be warned, guys. I'm probably gonna make a fit on those movies, and I hate them so much. Coming on the second on my list is Godzilla's Revenge. Yeah, I know how you guys might be thinking. Hey, Emmanuel, you should put this movie as last one. As well, and then what should I mean? The first on the first list. I didn't put it as the first at the first list because it's not as cheap as Super Monster Gamera. But goddamn, this movie's so fucking awful because I mean, look at this. They use old footage from all the other movies like Son of Godzilla, Godzilla versus a Sea Monster, and this yeah, those movies, both of them. As for Manila, yes, okay. I know people are gonna disagree with my last review that you should love Manila. It's cute. I get it. I love Manila, but I respect him. But I still don't think he's a good kaiju to me because he looks so fucking derpy. I mean, look at this. The design for Manila is so fucking ugly in the movie, and the way he talked. Oh my god, this movie is so trash. And yeah, and the actors and the plot and the characters are so fucking stupid. You heard me, fucking stupid. And Gamera is literally one of my least favorite kaiju movies because how stupid he is. How bad his powers are because yeah, he's like, you imagine he just punched someone, he has electric powers. I thought he was gonna use like Emperor Palpatine, but he just used it as close up even though he's about to like get his ass kicked by Godzilla by his atomic breath. And yes, it's a good thing that this movie has, sometimes it has footage of monster battles fighting, like Godzilla vs. Gamera. But oh my god, the rest of them are so goddamn awful because they use all the old footage from all the other movies. And just make an excuse thinking this movie get a monster rumble, but in reality, it's not. Oh my god, I wish I would put this movie at the first. I should have put this movie as the first worst list on the worst list. But something happened because I literally cannot. But I have to put one of the worst kaiju movies on the first list because how cheap it is. Do you guys know what it is on the first list? In 3, 2, 1. Super Monster Gamera or Gamera Super Monster, whatever the fuck will you call it. Oh my god, this movie is so fucking bullshit because they use so many stock footage from the other movies, from the first movie all the way to the 7th one. I think it is 1, 2, 3. Alright. Gamera versus Barugon, Gamera versus Gals, Gamera versus Barugon, Gion. Gamera versus... Yes, all 7 movies, they reused old footage from all 7 movies prior. Oh my god. And yeah, and get this, the Gamera prop they used for this movie is so way more cheaper compared to the other ones I compare on the list, like Reptilicus, Yongary, and Ape, and that's for Godzilla himself, and including his son. And the worst part is, they literally ripped off Star Wars. I mean, look at this. And the poster mentions there's a fucking Star Destroyer in the movie that look like a fucking Star Destroyer from Star Wars. God, imagine if Lucas saw this, like, what the fuck are you trying to steal my masterpiece? Alright. The characters in this movie are fucking stupid. The whole plot is literally all over the place. There's no explanation how in the hell nobody realized monsters are attacking the city and nobody gives a shit. You heard me. Nobody gives a shit about the monsters attacking, except for the ones that using stock footage, even though nobody gives a shit about the monster attacks. Heck, even the mother of the child mentions that the child is like dreaming or something. Like mentions it like it's like the child was like dreaming all the crap going on between the kaijus and etc. Oh my god. But at least I'm finally done with this piece of shit because I can't handle this movie. If you guys want to watch a good gamera movie, just watch the Heisei films or maybe the good ones on like the Showa films. Like if you guys love the first movie, just go for it, or the second movie or third one. If you guys love the Heisei era, just go for it. This movie is probably one of the worst monster movies ever made. Oh my god, I can't feel the pain after like trying to review this movie, how bad this movie it is. You heard me, how bad this fucking movie it is. Well guys, that's my entire list. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, if you guys are a fan of gamera, just watch. If you guys want to watch a good gamera movie, just ignore this piece of shit and go watch the Heisei films. Yes, those Heisei films are probably way more better than this dump of shit. I should have put this movie. Really, I should have put this movie as one of the worst kaiju movies ever made. And yes, guys, this one is easily one of the worst gamera films ever made. Well, that's all for today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. See ya!